It's the first day of the year, and it's so important to get off to a good start in your season. Every year I've had a great year. It's because I got off to a good start, and if you don't, then you kind of play catch up all year. So every day is important, but that first day of the year seems to be extra important just to get off to a good start. So year one on the Bass Pro Tour, it was basically everything counted because there's a 1 pound minimum. This year things changed to where it's a 2 pound minimum, which is gonna be a challenge. It's different, it's something else to think about. My brain don't like thinking sometimes. I want things to be easy. We ready. We cold, but we ready.
Well, everything we've done in practice is pretty much irrelevant now. Key today is just gonna be getting around. I got the best equipment in the world and all that good stuff, so I feel like I know some baits that they'll bite. Just excitement for the first one of the year. You know, you just want to go out and catch a few fish, get things started off good. And when you drive across a bridge and you see it orange, it's not really what you anticipated, but that's springtime fishing. You know, you go out and try to make it happen. It's a combination of nerve-wracking, excitement, heart-wrenching, bite your fingernails tight. It's not real good on the heart. Anybody that worries, it's not real good.
Well, I gotta get my marshal, whatever you call him, official. I don't want to call him something wrong. Dude, it's cold.
Yeah. Coming in, yeah. Flex, I just wanna win, yeah. LABB, who we running with, yeah. 2233, I'm on 10 again, yeah. Don't gotta sell them, mostly Alice flawless. Broken whips as long as it is foreign. Heard you want it cause the yam's enormous. What's in since she isn't gorgeous? Live my life, last name of Morgan Freeman. Trying to touch a forest, do not know when knocking on the door is. Came in, did it like the Porsches. Coming in, yeah. Flex, I just wanna win, yeah. LABB, who we running with, yeah. 2233, I'm on 10 again. Okay, alright. Coming in.
Okay, let's see what we can find. Today's been a busy day for me. You know, I started off the morning right at sunrise with a Toyota shoot. Shooting a bunch of different stuff for them, film and video. Then I went to Humminbird. I mean, we're in Eufaula. This is a real iconic bass fishery. Mann's Bait Company was founded here. Humminbird was founded here. Southern Plastics is here, which is the manufacturing facility that makes, you know, my KVD soft plastics for Strike King. So a lot of history here in the bass fishing world. A lot of tournaments over the years have gone through here. So if you didn't know, we showed up here, fished a day of practice, and then the next day Mother Nature deluged on us. So I just know that the conditions are going to be so much different than what we saw that you know, I'm going to have to forget the past and just go on, you know, what I see tomorrow. So it's just going to be a whole new day. It's basically, this is just like a Major League Fishing Cup event, you know, where you show up with no information, no practice or anything, because that's kind of about what it's going to turn into. The last handful of years, we've stayed together, you know, a bunch of times. You know, he's got his wife and kids with him. I'm just kind of alone, so it works out real good. You know, everybody kind of chips in and does things when making dinner or whatever needs to be done on that given day. So it's convenient, it's good to travel together, it's smart, safe, and it's family, you know, it's what you do. So today is the first day of the Bass Pro Tour event here at Lake Eufaula, and I'm in actually Group B, so I fish the second day and the fourth day in the qualifying round. So, you know, it gives you a little more time. You know, with the first day of the tournament though, I've had a full busy day with sponsor stuff and things, so I'm getting ready right now, be ready in the morning.
This is Greg Hackney, Red Crest runner-up. If you're making a short list of guys who have a good chance here, 5 or 10 guys, the Hack Attack has to be one, doesn't he, Marty?
Oh, 100%. I mean, he had a fabulous year last year. And then let's add to the fact, the 2-pound minimum. This is an angler that, in my opinion, that rule, this new scoring is to his advantage.
Let's see what Jeff Sprague is up to. Our points championship runner-up of a year ago. The Texas angler, Jeff Sprague. He did everything but win the points championship. Remember, he was one of the last anglers invited to the Bass Pro Tour for its inaugural season, but he certainly made the most of it, Marty.
Number one. And it's a nice one.
3 pounds, 12 ounces.
Nice bass.
What's he got there, Marty? What's he using?
His signature series jig that's made by Strike King.
Bertrand sits in the penalty box, one of the few penalties we have seen today. Here's Hackney.
That ain't him, but that's another one. Oh, baby, come on.
We got.
God dang. Well, let's just sit down here and kill the rest of the last 2 minutes then.
57.
Yeah.
Checking in with Greg Hackney now.
This morning, during the 30 minutes of ride around, I turned into the area where I planned on fishing. I kind of knew after we put in here this morning what was fixing. If you could track a coon in it, it was so muddy. You know what I mean?
Caught up with Jeff Sprague here. Jeff, it looks like you're picking up right where you left off last year, just catching bass after bass after bass. Tell us about it.
I don't know about bass after bass after bass, but we did a lot of chunking and winding, a lot of flipping today for a few bites, and we didn't capitalize on some things. I'm sure a lot of guys had that.
How are you dealing with mud with how you're fishing?
I didn't see any mud. The whole thing was like Nesquik. It was unbelievable. And I was like, how did the water even get here? And it did. I mean, it was impressive. This place can move some water. So I'm super excited to get the whole season started with the Bass Pro Tour. This is the second season of being out here, and we had a really good first season, and just don't want to be dismissed sometimes and thinking you had a good season. So it's really important to get back out this year and get started on a good note, start strong, and just let that momentum carry us. So I really am excited to be here, and I was excited to get this event started. Managed to end up in 8th, and we get to go back out on Sunday and swing on them again. So really, really excited about getting back out after it. Oh crap, I think I left them in the truck, the ones I want. Yeah, I'm sure I did.
Well, today's the first day of the Bass Pro Tour, brand new season 2020. It was really cold this morning in Lake Eufaula, but overall, man, I'm super pumped to be getting back out in the water. The off season always is a time where, I'm ready to do some hunting, do some family stuff, but I'm ready to get back after it. We've had some challenging weather this week, but it's going to get better every single day. That sun is going to make all the difference. Probably the biggest change for this year is the 2-pound variable minimum. So, we know here we're fishing for 2+ pounders. You got to target big fish, so you got to fish with big fish baits, and that's a big change. The difference between 1 and 2 pounds is a big milestone, and this lake's got a lot of big ones in it. So we're excited to get out there and after it. It really showed yesterday. The overall numbers were not great, but the size is there. And my goals this year are the same as they are every year. I want to go out, I want to win tournaments, I want to contend for the championship, the points championship, and you want to win the championship. So last year was a tough year. It was a transition year for a lot of us, and the difference in this format between so-so and really good is a real fine line. So, you know, I'd like to get off to a great start. This is going to be a really challenging event this week, but we've got a ton of great fisheries coming this season, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And the awesome part is the fans can watch every minute of it live. We get a half-hour ride through. We can kind of ride around, and this morning, you know, things have changed a lot. It's been 2 days since I've been on the water, so that half hour is going to be real important. And then lines in at 8 a.m. Well, we're in the boat yard at Lake Eufaula, stage 1. This is the day I fished yesterday, and this is the day when all these guys you see here are getting little minor things worked on your boat. You know, you have all these electrical things on a boat, and motors and electronics and wires and plumbing and all that. And so there's always some little fitting or something that needs to be done, and it's a pretty cool place that we can come and fans come by and we can visit with them.
Best tip you'll ever get: keep wearing them pants and don't put them things on.
They're the same thing.
No, they're not. Look how baggy them are. You trying to show off your calves or something, like you got big sexy calves. I call them crappy.
Crappy, yeah.
Yeah, I get in a debate with him all the time about it.
What
He
does
said
call them?
he calls them crappie.
Crappie, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what we.
That sounds like somebody up north would
Well,
call
you
them
know what's
crappie.
funny?
Real proper. Y'all need to come out and listen to Mark speak tonight, and I'll be there correcting him. If he screws up, I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah, it's always nice to come to the boatyard and hang out with all the competitors. Been listening to Andy, Montgomery. You always learn some new terminology there. Deep.
Was you trying to clean out your earwax and didn't know the cap was off? They don't care what kind of pants you wear. Hold up now, you said grandson.
Yeah.
That's your grandson?
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
And then tonight we'll go and I'm speaking at Parkview Baptist Church tonight. They're coming doing a Q&A, and I'm going to bring the gospel message tonight along with a few fishing tips and things. So it's just a way that we can share our passion for the Lord to these communities and to just sportsmen. My heartbeat is sharing Christ's love with sportsmen all over the country. That's what I really truly believe that God put me on this faith of this earth for, to be able to give me the ability to make a living fishing, to give me a platform to share His love with people.
Well, you know, here we just not been, every time seems like we get blessed with a little weather. I never get opportunity to do this, and typically I do lots of tackle work the day before the event starts, and it rained so much I didn't want all my boxes full of water, so I got this day off, and I'm still working in the rain, but that's just part of it, you know. When you work outside, you deal with the weather, regardless if they farming or working in the logging industry or whatever, has to deal with this same weather. So, and I get to fish in it, so it can't be too bad. It's a funny thing. I spend enough time, you know, a month or so off every year that I don't fish at all. And I try not to think about the season. I don't think about fishing. You know, I just, you know, hang out with my family and hunt. And it's good for me because it kind of clears my head. I really enjoy to do it. But I think more than anything, I just enjoy to get away from this. But when it's time for this to start, I still get butterflies. You know, at the beginning of the year, I'll never forget this the other day, right before this event, you know, I actually felt nervous. And I think that's good. You know what I mean? Because I think if it ever comes to a point where it doesn't make me feel like that anymore and it doesn't make my heart flutter, it's time for me to do something else. But as of right now, I enjoy it as much as I ever have. Wow, because I watched all these other guys that were my heroes and still are growing up, and now to be like part of that whole deal and especially to be at the beginning of, you know, we reinvented the wheel. So I'm pretty pumped about the year. I'm just pretty pumped about the rest of my life. You know what I mean? I'm like, just a lot of great things happening in my life with my family. My oldest son is started college this year, and you know, just to see the excitement in them and me still fishing, and you know, regardless how bad the weather is, it's raining or whatever. I thought about that yesterday. The weather was terrible, but I'm like, I fish for a living. It's hard for me to have any complaints with anything. We're fishing an event where the guy who wins catches the most. Not just the biggest ones, it's the most that you can catch, you know, so it's just, I don't know, it's wide open. Again, this is not relaxing. This is not relaxed fishing. I mean, this is, when you think you're wide open, you need to just drop and get another gear because you need to speed it up a little bit. It's taken me a little bit to get used to it because I've been used to in the past maybe being a little more laid back. There's no laid back now. It's 7.5 hours of fury, you know what I mean?
Uh-oh. Kevin VanDam.
Daddy's back.
Total weight of 11.2. Slow start for KVD. Did not catch a scoreable bass in the first period. Did not catch a bass in the second period. Here in the third, he's caught 3 for 11.2. And KVD is now 14th.
I knew it was going to be tough. When I got out there and just saw how much it changed, it really freaked me out. It took a while, I mean, just to find water that I thought was even, that I felt good about. But, you know, I finally got a few bites anyway, so I think you're going to see the fishing steadily get better every single day.
Well, when conditions change, positions change. Hopefully KVD can make it into that top 20 at the end of day number 2.
All right, I need a podium to put this on. Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that kind words, Andy. But the tip that I came to give you guys tonight is one that I think will make the biggest difference in your life and in your fishing. And that is simply, you need to hang out with Jesus as much as you can. He's the guy that made all the fish. He knows where they all live. He can bless your life. Just like Alton says, sometimes he chooses to load us up. Sometimes he doesn't. The times that he doesn't, it'll make a difference in how you handle it. Because it's not always the good times that makes you. I trust you now as Lord and Savior of my life. In Jesus' name, amen. Guys, if you prayed a prayer or something like that tonight, go to church Sunday, share it with your pastor, share it with your mom, share it with your dad, somebody, and it'll make a difference in your life. God bless you. Thank y'all for coming. Well, it's been a good night. We've been here at Parkview Baptist Church. I was with Andy Montgomery, Alton Sr., Alton Jr. We took a lot of questions from a lot of the kids in the community and the surrounding communities here in Lake Eufaula, Alabama. And a lot of them wanted to know tips on fishing and all that. But then in the midst of all of it, we shared the Word of God with them as well. And they were so receptive. I looked out across the crowd, and when Alton was, you know, giving an encouraging word, or Andy or little Alton, they were so focused. And then when I spoke, they just were very attentive. God's been awful good to us, all 4 guys that were here tonight. We've been blessed, and He's given us a platform to share the love of Christ with people, and that's what we're simply doing tonight. And I thank Parkview Baptist Church for putting a lot of hard work into this thing, and I know how much it takes. It takes a lot of meals, it takes a lot of prayers, it takes a lot of setting up and people staying late and all that good stuff, but we just appreciate them. And to have a bunch of fishermen come in and share their sanctuary. I know Pastor gets a little nervous about that. It gets outside the norm, but it's a good time. It was a great success. The pews were full, and now we're going to go out and try to catch a fish on day 2.
I don't think you're shooting me.
So I'm fixing to get in line and ride on over to them. I feel all right. I mean, this is a really good lake. I mean, we've not had the best conditions, but you know, I'm sitting in a good position. I didn't really catch a lot of fish the first day, but I caught big ones, so I feel pretty good, man. You know, I like it tough. I'll be honest with you, those slugfests, you know, they're fun to watch, but they're not fun to compete in. I don't have to go out and catch 30 bass today. I need to go out and catch 7 or 8. My main goal now is to make it to the next round regardless of how I get there. I got out 20 rods. That's the secret. That's the whole secret this week, is to have out as many rods as possible.
This is the best beef jerky I've ever put in my mouth. Honey jalapeno. I've never had it before, but when I found it, listen, I bought stock in the company. We are in a break right now, and it's been a grind. I've caught 2 keeper fish today. They brought the lake up 2 feet, and then they dropped it 2 feet in a matter of 24, 28, 30 hours. These poor bass, they don't know which way's up right now. So we got about 2.5 hours left in this day, and then we got to hang in there. You know, they're still catching them. We're only about 10 pounds out of the 20th place. So that's just a swing of the bat a couple times here. They got some good ones. So stay tuned. Let's see what happens.
You know, today was much like the first day. The difference was today I didn't execute very well. Had about the same number of bites. I just didn't catch them. And when I did feel like I caught enough, then I spent the rest of the day just kind of exploring, looking for the next round. Looking forward to it. And the lake fell a couple feet, and that kind of seemed like that kind of changed things a lot. So hopefully in a couple days it'll be back to normal. I'll see you.
I caught 5 again. You'd think that I'm thinking it's a 5 fish limit. It all, you know, 3 fish in the first period, just like the first day, doing something totally different. Just scratching and clawing, man. I went back to where I caught them the first day. Water had fallen and gotten clear, so I couldn't catch them in there, so didn't need to spend too much time in there. Just put a Thunder Cricket on and just started covering lots of water and ran into 5, and we'll probably have to change it up again day 3, but I'm thankful that we're there.
I made the cut somehow. I don't know how. You want a picture? Dang, you a big boy. If I get in a fight, I'm coming to find you. That's a lose, but it's got the wrong bait on. Hold on a minute. Now you can replace that thing.
And can I get my Sharpie back too?
No, wait a minute now. I just gave you 3 Thunder Crickets. That's $30. I'm gonna keep you Sharpie. We traded Thunder Crickets. No, I'm just kidding. I got plenty. In the past, we didn't have off days, so we didn't get to think a lot. And you run into problems when you go to thinking a lot. So basically, we get off the water and we know 2 or 3 baits that we're gonna catch them on, and then we get to thinking. Well, maybe we need to tie on 2 different colors. Maybe we need to tie on this. For instance, this is the 1.5. This is the one I've been throwing, but you know, I got to thinking too much and I went and tied on a red one somewhere in there.
I'm going to give you a minute and a half to.
A minute and a half?
A minute and a half.
That's 90 seconds.
I know how many.
I think that's, I usually do 1 thought per second, so that's 90 thoughts I have to do.
I know.
So we're trying to strategize with this score tracker because that's all we can look at.
I don't know about strategizing with a score tracker. I'm thinking we need to get with whoever controls the lake level out here, because this thing has come up 2 foot. Now it's down like 3 foot from what we've seen in practice.
It's time. Thank you for joining us, Jeff Sprague, Andy Montgomery.
That's it. You don't even want to see any skin. Normally y'all ask to see some flesh.
We done. Yep. This is lunch today. Lunch. Doritos.
Kevin VanDam, another solid day. Moving on to the knockout round. He goes 11 pounds, 12 ounces today. We'll see a couple of fish here from Kevin VanDam. But when this guy gets in, look out.
Today was a big time grind out there. You know, I mean, I was started in 13th place. I didn't catch anything the first period and just kept going down and down and down and ended up all the way down to 19th, and I finally caught a fish, you know, and that gave me a ton of confidence. The lake level just dropped so much between the first round and this, like over 3 feet. So I was basically fishing shallow flooded cover and there was nothing left to fish. So I kind of had to recheck my areas and you know, cover some new water. I ended up fishing a lot of docks and things like that. There's just not much else in the water to fish. So because the weight's 0, it's anybody's game now.
Yeah. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
It's easier to get that road grime off while you're here in the morning than it is to wait till the afternoon, because it'll dry on there like concrete. I'm excited. It's a great way to start the year with the points, the momentum, and today it looks like, you know, we've got some really cooperative weather. I'm ready to get back out there to them.
Good morning. This is knockout round. So top 8 move on. Yeah, I don't know what to say other than top 8 move on. We got to be in the top 8. And how we caught them the first 2 rounds probably ain't gonna make the top 2-8. So we're gonna do some different things this morning.
A lot of Strike King and Loser logos out here on the top 40 day, I see. I think all of our guys made it. That's awesome. Pretty good testimony for an okay team. It's a little hand painted 1.5, custom painted. I better keep that in there. It's like a tiger, you know. Might get out here and get to growling it, folks. I'm gonna keep it in a cage for now.
The biggest thing about this group is this is by far the best group of anglers on the planet. That does not do them justice by me saying that. The only way that you could truly appreciate how good these anglers are is to have the opportunity to fish in one of these events with them. It's scary, I'll be honest with you. It's almost like they have a sixth sense. And then of course, you know, the whole Strike King team is that way. I mean, they always have been my whole career, you know. Half the guys on the Strike King team were my idols growing up. You know what I mean? Like, and so when you're someone's idol in the sport of bass fishing, that pretty much says it all. You know, these fish are still feeding pre-spawn. They're not interested in spawn. It's not like they pulled the water off of where they were trying to spawn at. They were not trying to spawn. They were just following the shad around. You know, when that water came up, all those shad went in shallow. And so I'm just anticipating today. I just got to figure out where the bait is and we'll be good.
it's heartbreaking when you have the opportunity and when it's tough to get them like this and you don't capitalize. So, but it's part of it. It's happened before, and I've been on the other side of it too. Finished 13th here. You know, I'm going to head to Okeechobee next and hopefully have a better tournament there. I lost the one I needed, man.
And that's a wrap. We finished 26th. We had a blessed week, made the cut. Didn't make it to the championship round. We're going to go home and sleep with the sweetest girl in Arkansas tonight. How about that? This was the bait that did most of my damage, mostly because this is the bait that I threw the most this week. I'm thankful for the 12 bass that this Strike King Thunder Cricket caught me, and I'll go on to Okeechobee and try it.
It's so hard to get a bite out there, but when they bite, holy smokes, they knock the crap out of your stuff. It's amazing how hard them fish bite out there. We out! See y'all at, well, maybe I gotta find my keys first. Okeechobee.
You know, not many events that we come to that are just complete grinders, but this was a grinder, meaning, you know, you catch 3 fish a day, 2 fish a day, and have a chance at the championship round. The quality was here. It just wasn't a lot of bites to be had. So the Okeechobee event's going to be really interesting, just because that place has a bunch of fish in it, and it also is it's huge, you know. So I'm kind of excited about it. I haven't been there in a few years, and oh look, there's a white cat in the woods behind you. I'm so serious. It's an albino cat. But seriously, I mean, I'm excited to get back to Okeechobee. I haven't been down there in, you know, some years now, and just what a really cool place to fish, and you know, and it's so much bass fishing history and heritage there. So, you know, no better place to really be than to be down there and actually catch some of those boogers. Out of the 5 guys that you're going to be following around down there, one of those guys ought to win that event. You've got some awesome fishermen with a lot of history there, so put your money over and see what happens.